you so much for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcome all once again to Everyday Chant Harinam call. We are very fortunate to have His Grace, Sarvadhik Das Prabhu from Mayapur, India, to enlighten us from verse 46 onwards, from chapter 2, canto 7 of Srimad Bhagvatam. Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Please take over the session, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Please accept my obeisances and obeisances to all devotees on the call. Hope everyone is well and happy in Krishna consciousness. Before beginning, I beg to offer my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Parampa, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarane Nama Shishtam Manomapi Sachiputra Matra Sarupam Rupam Tasyagrajamuruparim Matarim Goshtavadim Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasam Praptoyasya Patita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Gatosmi Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Nanta Advitashwayam Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum Nichopi Yat Prasadat Sad Bhakti Shastra Pavartaka Nityanandam Aham Nomi Sarvanandakaram Param Harinama Padam Devam Avaduta Shiromanim Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannataya Te Namaha Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindayi Tulsidevi Priya Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Padi Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha Vansha Kopachubhishta Kripasindhubi Vachapatitanam Paminibhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. So today I wanted to speak on three different subjects. First, on the heartbreaking news, the disappearance of His Divine Grace, my beloved God brother, highly esteemed, revered God brother, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Also today, at least here in Mayapur, is the appearance day of Gadadhar Pandit, and we have our regular Srimad Bhagvatam verse. So I'll speak in that order. I just returned from a tour of 9 of his temples where his disciples are prominent in North India, in Sonipat, Panipat, Hisar, Kurukshetra, Punjabi Bagh, Rohini, 9 temples altogether. I was giving Bhagavatam class at the moment he disappeared. It was a very heartbreaking scene. All devotees, although we knew he was seriously ill, still the reality of material life, when it hits us in the face, it's very heartbreaking. Many devotees were still heartbroken. Lord Chaitanya asked Ramananda Roy, what is that unbearable pain? Ramananda Roy replied to him that separation from a Vaishnava, any other pain can be borne, but that pain that cannot be tolerated is the separation, unbearable pain is a separation from a Vaishnava. And that is the experience of his disciples and many of his God brothers that had so much regard for him, for his attitude, his friendly nature. Whenever he would meet me, his first words out of his mouth were, Prabhu, are my disciples taking good care of you? Typically, he would offer his room when I'm traveling through his temples. And temples, just in Delhi NCR, he is responsible for the construction of 18 beautiful, beautiful temples. We just opened a new temple in Rohini, which is not just a temple, it's a Rajasthani palace, beautiful pink, intricately carved pink sandstone, inside all hand-painted decorations, gold leaf, Panchatattva, Ram Darbar, Radha Madhav, Lalita Vishaka. I mean, that temple will dominate the religious life of the entire city of Rohini. And people will go there just to see it. It's such a beautiful place. So Maharaj was responsible for opening 18 temples like that from his Grihastha days. Srila Prabhupada placed his heart in his hands. Prabhupada said, my book distribution, BBT is my heart. And Maharaj dedicated his life to the distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books throughout his life. It was a priority throughout his life. And he was a strict follower of Prabhupada. If we examine what Prabhupada did, his preaching mode, Prabhupada was told by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur at Radhakund, if you ever get money, print books. Prabhupada took it as his life and soul, and commented, referring to the comment of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in this verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that the purport of this verse is that one should take the order of his spiritual master as his life and soul. This was Prabhupada's mood, and this was the mood of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He took book distribution as his life and soul, and was personally responsible for printing and distributing millions of books in India. That task that is taken up by his disciples. So Prabhupada distributed books. For the profits of those books, he built temples, and to assist him, he initiated disciples. This is exactly the program of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj that led to his unprecedented success in this category. I not mean to minimize any other devotee, big or small, but he had unprecedented success in opening temples and in book distribution, two things that were very dear to Srila Prabhupada's heart. So devotees are heartbroken in separation. That is completely natural. One would question, if one wasn't heartbroken, what was the quality of his heart? What kind of guru bhakti does he have? What kind of guru nishta does he have? We should feel separation. But separation is based on vapu seva, or the bodily conception of life. We'll no longer see His Holiness offering Mangal Arti. Every temple he ever went to, even when his body became very feeble, when he could hardly pick up a chamara or offer a ghee lamp, he was there every Mangal Arti here in Mayapur, if he was in town, offering Mangal Arti to Panchatattva. And likewise, in whatever temple he was visiting, every morning, Mangal Arti, offering Arati to the deities. Deity worship was very, very dear to him. So we'll not be blessed with that vision of him offering Arati to the deities again. That is the nature of this material world. No one can check it. Everyone has to leave. Guru has to leave. Disciple has to leave. No one can stay in this material world. So the question arises, is our relationship with Sri Guru based on bodily conception of life? It is not. From the spiritual conception, from the Vani Seva conception, nothing has changed. Let me repeat that because it's important. Nothing has changed. When the spiritual master leaves this world, how are we connected with him? How are we always connected with him in the most profound way? By Vani Seva, by serving the words of the spiritual master, by serving his mission, by following his instructions, by hearing from him. These things are all in the category of Vani Seva, and this is our real connection with our spiritual master. And I'm speaking this for all of us. This is my realization, having been separated from Prabhupada now for 47 years. What is my relationship with him? I hardly had any personal association with Srila Prabhupada, bodily association. I saw him in 6 different places, but hardly had any personal association. So what maintains me? Vani Seva, hearing Prabhupada, reading Prabhupada's books, serving his institution, doing what he did, tried to live the life as he gave it to us. This is the sum and substance of our relationship, anyone's relationship with Guru. Prabhupada himself said, I only had the opportunity to associate with my spiritual master a few times. It's not that Prabhupada had extensive association from the consideration of Vapu Seva. He was a grihastha. He didn't live in the ashram. He wasn't cooking for Srila Saraswati Thakur. He wasn't washing his clothes. He wasn't cleaning his room. He was associating with him by serving the mission and instructions of his spiritual master. This is the example Srila Prabhupada showed to us, and we need to apply that in our relationship with our Guru Maharaj, because all of you, younger devotees, will experience this, most likely separation from your Guru Maharaj. This is the nature of the material. No one can check this, but we keep close association with him. We stay with him. We're close to him by Vani Seva, following his instructions. So I wanted to mention this. I do some counseling with several devotees that are his disciples, and they're all very, very disturbed. But we can take shelter in this conception, how to be close by Vani Seva, by serving the mission, hearing from Shri Guru, hearing his instructions and applying them in our life. Then we're fixed up tight in relationship with the spiritual master here, and Chakudhan Diloje, Janme Janme Prabhu say. In this way, we remain in his association as his servitor, life after life. As we're serving here in this world, we will also serve Guru in the spiritual world. No one approaches Krishna directly. Everyone serves the Lord through his Guru, receiving instructions on how to serve, in what capacity, in what detailed way. Everything as we serve here, we serve there. Same thing. There's a Bengali saying, if you send a rice threshing machine to heaven, what will it do? It will thresh rice. It threshes rice here, and it will thresh rice in heaven. Same thing. As we serve Guru here, we will serve in the spiritual world. No separation. Our separation is based on vapu consideration, bodily consideration. And that indeed is heartbreaking. We'll never see him again. We'll never see so many devotees that have left. All my god brothers are all leaving. It's heartbreaking. So many are clinging to life. So many have. I was at the Maha Abhishek. So many of my god brothers walking with a cane, just devastated by the time factor. This is the reality of life. We should understand. Srila Prabhupada, in his last days with us, was surrounded by his loving disciples. One day, with extreme gravity, he looked at us all and said, "Don't think this won't happen to you. This is the reality of the world. It will happen to us. The only thing that separates us from that is time." So today is also the holy appearance day of Sri Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit was very, very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was his life. They spent their whole childhood together. They grew up together. His mother was very dear to Sachi Mata. There's eternal relationship because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Bhava Savalitam Naomi Krishna Sarupam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Krishna Sarup, covered with the bhava, the duty, the effulgence and mercy of Srimati Radharani. But externally, he's Gaura, internally, he's Sham. He's Krishna inside. And Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani. So how can they be separated and worship Gadai Gaur, Gauranga, and Gadadhar Pandit? Is not different from worship of Radha Krishna. This is the worship that was most dear to the heart of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. At his samadhi, we see deities of Gauranga and Gadadhar Gauranga, Gadai Gaur. So he was always eternal associate. He was always associated throughout his life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, as we remember, quite wild in his youth prior to meeting his guru. And Gadadhar was always very renounced, Naistiki Brahmachari his whole life, very reserved, introspective, calm, and always calming Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Once he asked Gadadhar Pandit, "Where is Krishna?" In a mood of ecstatic separation from Krishna. "Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna?" Gadadhar Pandit told him, "Krishna is in your heart, Mahaprabhu." Mahaprabhu, and it made a big tearing at his heart, well, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? So Gadadhar Pandit said, he's coming. Calm down, calm. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Dhira, dhira. So Sachi Mata appreciated this mood of Gadadhar Pandit, always associated with Mahaprabhu and calming him and bringing him back to calm state of mind. There's some nice stories about Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit was requested by Mukunda that you come and meet one great devotee. His name is Pundarik Vidyanidhi. He's a great Mahabhagavat, Maharishi. Come meet him. So Gadadhar Pandit said, of course, always happy to meet great devotees. So they went to the audience and took darshan of this great devotee, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And when Gadadhar Pandit saw him lying on a silken couch with big pugri, with pearls decorating his pugri, and oiled, perfumed hair, and chewing pan, his lips red with pan, being fanned by servants with beautiful brass spittoon, and servants feeding him grapes and being waited on like a Maharaj, Gadadhar Pandit was feeling some doubt in his mind. That who is this person? This is a great rishi. This is a great Mahabhagavat devotee. He appears to me to be first-class Vishayi, first-class sense enjoyer. So he was maintaining this doubt in his heart. Mukunda could understand what was going on in his friend's mind. And Mukunda was well known for his beautiful recitation. He had a beautiful singing voice. He was well known for the recitation of Srimad Bhagvatam. So he began to sing verses from Srimad Bhagvatam. And when he came describing the mercy of Krishna, and when he came to the verse, and who can be more merciful than Krishna? He gave the position of mother to the demon, Rakshasi, Putana. Kim va dayalum. When he said this, these words came from us. Who can be more merciful than Krishna? Pundarik Vidyanidhi went mad in Krishna Prema, rolling on the floor, tearing his pugri, tearing his clothes, his body, manifesting Ashta Satika Bhav, chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Needless to say, Gadadhar Pandit was very surprised at the bodily transformation of a person he considered to be a materialistic man. So thinking he made some offense, he begged Pundarik Vidyanidhi, you please give me Diksha. This is natural because Ganadesh Deepika tells us that Pundarik Vidyanidhi is none other than Vrishabhanu Maharaj, the father of Srimati Radharani, and Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani herself. They have eternal relationship that is manifest in this way in Gaur Leela. So Gadadhar Pandit also manifests extreme separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu disappeared into Tota Gopinath, the Gopinath deity just outside of Puri. Very, very beautiful black deity. The devotees there are very kind to ISKCON also, and ISKCON was kind to them, did some construction work. Many places in Puri, they're highly prejudicial towards Western devotees, but they always welcome all devotees from any country, any community at that temple. And sometimes even hold the darshan if they know devotees, a group of devotees are coming and are running a little late. They're very, very kind, accommodating. So this deity of Gopinath is sitting deity. There's a story for this. There, as far as I know, is the only sitting deity on the planet. He's sitting in Padmasana. So the story was that Gadadhar Pandit, after the disappearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he was still a young man, due to separation from Mahaprabhu, his body aged extremely, in an extreme way, due to separation. And he became so decrepit that he couldn't even lift a garland and put garland around Gopinath's neck. So Gopinath, in reciprocation to his devotee's love, simply sat down to make his body accessible to his devotee to accept a garland. So these are the beautiful stories surrounding the life of Gadadhar Pandit. We can pray for his mercy, because how do we go on in devotional service? By the touch of Ladini Shakti. So he is that person, the personification of Ladini Shakti. And if we can touch that, then our devotional life is all auspicious. So we can read Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a very nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam also. We're reading Canto 7, text 2, Canto 7, chapter 2, text 46. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashtapesha Baddeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishna Swadamo Bhagate Dhamma Jnana Divi Saha Kalo Nashtadishamesha Purana Kodinodita Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Vitendriya Mano Lingan Deha Uvach Ucha Vachan Vibhu Vajat Yut Sajati Yan Yas Tachchapi Swena Tejasa Bhuta by the 5 material elements, Indriya, the 10 senses, Mana of the mind, Lingan, characterized, Dehan, gross material bodies, Ucha Avachan, high class and low class, Vibhu, the individual soul, which is the Lord of the body and senses, Bhajati, achieves, Utsrijati, gives up, he, indeed, Anya, being different, Tat, that, Cha, also, Api, indeed, Swena, by his own, Tejasa, power of advanced knowledge. Translation. The 5 material elements, the 10 senses, and the mind all combine to form the various parts of the gross and subtle bodies. The living entity comes in contact with his material bodies, whether high or low, and later gives them up by his personal prowess. This strength can be perceived in a living entity's personal power to possess different types of bodies. Report by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The conditioned soul has knowledge, and if he wants to fully utilize the gross and subtle bodies for his real advancement in life, he can do so. It is therefore said here that by his high intelligence, Svena Tejasa, by the superior power of superior knowledge achieved from the right source, the spiritual master or acharya, he can give up his conditional life in a material body and return home back to Godhead. However, if he wants to keep himself in the darkness of this material world, he can do so. The Lord confirms this as follows in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 25. Yanti deva prata devan pitrin yanti pitrivrata bhutani yanti puteja yanti madhyajino pimam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. Those who worship ancestors go to the ancestors, and those who worship me will live with me. The human form of life is valuable. One can use this body to go to the higher planetary systems, to Pitriloka, or he can remain in this lower planetary systems. But if one tries, he can also return home back to Godhead. This prowess is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Super Soul. Therefore, the Lord says, Vataspatir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, text 15. From me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. If one wants to receive real knowledge from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become free from bondage to repeated acceptance of material bodies. If one takes to the devotional service of the Lord and surrenders unto Him, the Lord is prepared to give one directions by which to return home back to Godhead. But if one foolishly wants to keep himself in darkness, he can continue in a life of material existence. Well, this is interesting verse, very important considerations are here. The first point is that our material existence is described here as 10 senses, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas. And we navigate the material world in this way. And Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita, Bhumara panalo vayukam mano buddhiri vacha ahankar itiyame vinna prakritir ashtada. They're all vinna prakriti, material energy, 5 working senses of speech, of sight, of hearing, of touch, of evacuation, procreation, and 5 I'm mixing them up. Anyway, 5 Gyanendriya is how we navigate our way through this material world and how we work in this material world. They combine to make 10 senses, and these are gross manifestation of our body, and subtle senses, buddhi, mana, hankar, subtle senses that are subtle. They exist, but we can't quantify them. You can't put mind on a scale. You can't put intelligence on a scale. How much does it weigh? What is its mass? What is its dimension? But we understand it exists because we all experience the demands of the mind. We experience the working of the intelligence, but we are the soul proper. 26 elements all told. This is jnana. Jnana is very helpful for us in the prosecution of devotional life, but it can't produce bhakti. For example, if you want to eat a mango, you take a knife and you peel the mango, you cut the mango, and you eat. You don't eat the knife, you eat the mango. The knife is instrumental in the process of eating the mango, but we don't eat the knife. It's instrumental. It helps us eat the mango. So in the same way, jnana is helpful to a devotee, but it can't produce bhakti. Lord says in Gita, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanam mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sadurlava. After many births and deaths, one who is jnanavan, who has actually come to the conclusion of jnana, he surrenders to Krishna. So jnana in and of itself is not the cause of bhakti, but it helps us come to the stage of understanding who is Krishna and brings us to the stage of surrender, to enter the door, the gateway to bhakti with the help of jnana. So Prabhupada is explaining something very important in this purport, that we have free will. And he quotes from Bhagavad Gita that you want to go to the planet of the demigods, you can go. You want to go to Pitri Lok, you can go. You want to become a Bhuta, Pisacha, Rakshasa, Yamaduta, you can do that also. But if you want, you can go home back to Godhead. We have that power by the grace of the Super Soul. He quotes, what's the verse here? He says, I'm missing it here. Swayana Tejasa. Krishna gives us intelligence how to come back to him. And this is the power of devotional service. When we engage in devotional service, it's not a one-way street. We just serve, sacrifice, donate. It's not a one-way street. Krishna says in Gita, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. That if you engage yourself constantly, satata yuktanam, with love, bhajatam priti, that I give dadami buddhi yogam tam. His reciprocation is dadami buddhi yogam. Dadami means I give. What does he give? A special quality of intelligence that helps us understand what is this material world, who am I, what is the goal of life, and how to execute the process of devotional service, how to go home back to Godhead. But the prerequisite qualifications are there. Not to be lazy in devotional life. Satata yuktanam, always be engaged somehow or other in serving the Lord. That means in the course of our day, we should practice remembrance, we should practice hearing and chanting, we should fill our day with Krishna. For example, if you're cooking, you can listen to a lecture. If you're offering puja, you can listen to a lecture. If you're driving, you can listen to a lecture. You can be chanting while you're cooking. You can be chanting while you're driving, hearing bhajan or singing. Always be hearing and chanting something about Krishna. I had one godbrother, his name was Vibhu Chaitanya. He's a very, very great soul. He was serving in Vrindavan, Krishna Balaram temple, for the majority of his life. He was cooking all day long, cooking for Krishna Balaram. Prabhupada told him, you don't have to chant 16 rounds, because all day long he's simply singing holy name and cooking for Krishna Balaram. So absorbed in cooking and chanting the holy name. And at the end, he left his body in Vrindavan, went back home, back to God, and he's cooking for Krishna Balaram eternally in Goloka. So the point is to fill one's time with Krishna. Chanakya said, Ayusha Shana Ekopi Nalabhya Swarna Koti Bhi. That one cannot buy a second of time with millions of gold coins. Time is our most valuable asset. And we can invest that time in hearing about Krishna, or we can squander our time. Just like you're all familiar, living in America, with Las Vegas and Atlantic City, where people go and they squander vast quantities of wealth. In a weekend, let's say, for example, you had $500,000, your asset. You can go and in a weekend squander $500,000. Now we can liken that $500,000 to our duration of life. You can invest $500,000 and make $500 million if you invest carefully. Or one can squander $500,000 in a weekend at Atlantic City or Las Vegas. People call it lost wages. Las Vegas means lost wages, losing money. So we have a duration of life, and it represents that same wealth. Our wealth is our duration of life. So if we invest our time, which is our real wealth, we can become Krishna conscious in this lifetime, come to the stage of pure devotional service, leave this material world, and go back home, back to Godhead. What more we want? Well, we can, if we squander that time, if we waste that time in frivolous activities, in fruitless activities that have no connection to Krishna, then this is like the man who goes to the gambling casino and just throws his money away. We throw our duration of life away. And materialistic person, if we analyze, mostly that is their life. They sleep minimum 8 hours. That means a third of their life is just 1/3, 33 1/3% of their life is simply wasted sleeping. We have to sleep, but not like a bear. Some people sleep 12 hours. That's half of their life is spent sleeping. And the first years of our life, we're simply foolish children until you reach 20, 25 years of age. Then you start working. And where is time for Krishna with that? And then old age is there. We spend most of our life just working and trying to accumulate assets. And at the end, what do we have to show for it? Nothing. So time is our most precious gift, our most precious asset. Will we use it for Krishna? Or will we waste it, throw it away? So if we properly engage our time in devotional service, we can achieve the highest benefit. And that is the guarantee of this verse. If you want to go to Pitri Loka, you can go. You want to go to Deva Loka, Indra Loka, and dance with Apsaras and Nandakanana gardens and the whole scene that's going on there. We can go there. You have to qualify yourself, but you can go. But Krishna is saying, if you use your independence properly, Yanti Madhyaji no Piman, if you worship me, Madhyaji, if you worship me, you come to me. We have that capacity. Devotional service means proper execution, proper investment of our independence. We're not robots, because if we're robots, if everything is destined, if there's absolute destiny, then there's no free will. And without free will, what is the question of love of God? What is the question of bhakti? We all go back to Godhead when destiny ordains that we go back to Godhead. We have to use our free will, our minute free will, to choose Krishna. Because Krishna is saying here, you can choose Devalok, you can choose Indralok, you can choose Pitrilok, or you can choose me. We have to choose Krishna. And to nurture that desire, to bring that desire out, we have to hear about Krishna. Hearing is the foundation of our spiritual life. Bhagavatam says, Yasyam vai shuyamanayam Krishna parama purushe bhaktir utpadyate pumsa shoka moha bhayapaha. Very important verse. That by hearing, what happens? Bhakti utpadyate pumsa. Bhakti arises in our heart. Hearing is the cause of bhakti. It nurtures our bhakti. Actually, bhakti is only the cause of bhakti. But hearing attracts the attention of Krishna and causes our heart to become purified, makes a proper sitting place, making a proper environment where bhakti can flourish. Just like if you want to grow a garden, You can just throw some seeds on dry ground, and maybe the rain will come and one or two will find a crack in that dry, parched ground and make its way into that crack. The rain will come, it will sprout. Maybe you'll get a plant or two. But if you cultivate the garden, if you turn the soil, if you fertilize the soil, make it full with compost and humus, and make a proper garden, and carefully plant and remove weeds, then you get a bountiful harvest. So preparing the quality of our heart is based, preparing the quality of our heart for Krishna to come sit is based on hearing. And the result, bhakti upadite pumsa, bhakti arises. Bhakti can grow in a heart that has become purified. Elsewhere in Bhagvatam, a beautiful verse confirms this, says, Pravishtakana randrena swanam bhava sororoham donoti shamalam Krishna salilatsa yatasharat. That kana randrena means through our ear. Everybody wants to see God with their eye. If they challenge, if there is a God, then show him to me. I want to see him to verify his existence with my gelatinous eyeballs. Is this the process? No, it's not. The process is to hear. Kana rendrena. We understand God, we see God through our ear. And by hearing Svanam Bhava Sororuham, that he sits on the loving lotus flower of our own bhava, our own relationship with him, in one of 5 different relationships. That happens by hearing. Krishna is in our heart, but he's manifest by the process of hearing. The previous verse says, Shinvatam Shadaya Nityam Gunatascha Chatishtitam Kalena Nati Dirgena Bhagavan Vishate Hradi. That by hearing with great attention and enthusiasm, very quickly, Swanam Bhava Sororoham. No, that's the next verse. Anyway, that very quickly, Gunatascha Chatishtitam Kalena Nati Dirgena. Kalena na ati dirgena. That Krishna very quickly manifests himself in our heart. Now, someone may say, well, Bhagavad Gita says Krishna is there. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hrideshar Dalatisha. He says, I'm in your heart. Sarvashichaham Hridi, I'm in your heart. But he's not manifest. The relationship isn't manifest. That happens by hearing about Krishna. Because by hearing about Krishna, our heart becomes pure. Shantvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Pradyantasto Abhadrani Vidunoti Suratsatam. Our heart, all the Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Dantavakra, Hiranyaksha type qualities of our heart are vanquished by hearing. Abhadrani, lust, anger, greed, fear, envy, malice, all the unhappy things that exist in our heart are cleansed by hearing. There's no other way to get it out. Can you get a scrub brush, a rag, start cleaning? There's only one way. Karna Rendrena, through our ear to hear about Krishna. And by hearing, Bhakti Upadite Pumsa. Then that desire that I only want Krishna. I'm not interested in heaven. I'm not interested in Pitri Lok. I'm not interested to come back to this world as a big Crorepati, Ambani, Birla, Gates. I only want Krishna. That desire, Bhakti Upadite Pumsa, comes about just by hearing about Krishna. If we don't hear, then how will it happen? There's no other process. Nasteva, nasteva, nasteva. So that means practical advice means that every day, without fail, we should hear something about Krishna. Nityam, we recite this verse, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Not this Bhagavat Saptaha. Of course, devotees also do Bhagavat Saptaha. Because if we don't, the Mayavadis will, and they are, but we don't misunderstand that that is the actual process of hearing Bhagavatam. Devotees do it so to edge out the influence of the Mayavadis. Imagine Mayavadis speaking on Bhagavatam. Even this one nonsense Mayavadi, what's his name, Premanand, was cent percent Mayavadi. But because he has a big tilak, big chandan all over his forehead, jata, big beard, saffron cloth, Oh, like, oh, great sadhu, he's Mayavadi. Deliberate, obviously, directly speaking, Mayavad philosophy. But people, because they don't know, because they're uneducated to know what is the difference between bhakti and Mayavad, they take him to be a great devotee. Even some of our ISKCON devotees, confused by this man. So we should hear about Krishna to know what is the goal of life. That hearing is very, very powerful. It not only cleanses our heart, but gives us information about Krishna, substance to think about, to meditate on. Krishna says, Manmana bhava mad bhakto, you think of me, become my devotee. Why will we become a devotee if we have no information about Krishna? Krishna, like, what's that? Who's that? No, we have to have knowledge of Krishna. We have to learn what are Krishna's characteristics. What is his nam, gun, rup, parikar? What are his characteristics? What does he look like? Where does he live? Who are his friends? What does he do? What does he eat? What does he wear? Everything related to Krishna. That hearing not only gives us knowledge of Krishna, but that hearing has special characteristic that it cleanses our consciousness. Hearing is the foundation of our spiritual life. And when we advance sufficiently, then naturally this feeling will arise in our heart that I don't want anything else. I don't want anything else. Let me, in this one lifetime, because in this one lifetime, liberation, returning, not just liberation, returning back to Godhead is in our hand. And this is the process. And this is, as Prabhupada mentions in the purport, this is the value of the human form of life. By the human form of life, you can achieve all these other destinations. But what is the value? Krishna describes them as antavat, antavatu palam te sham, avyakta chakta setasam. No, antavatu palam te sham. Anyway, Krishna is saying that.
Tadbhavanti alpamedasam.
What's that, Prabhu?
Tadbhavanti alpamedasam.
Yes, Tadbhavanti alpamedasam. Devan deviya jo yanti mad bhakta yanti mamapi. I got two verses switched there. So that whatever the devatas can give you is antavat, it comes to an end. And mayaiva vihitan hitan. It has to be sanctioned by Krishna. So why bother with devatas? It's not that we should disrespect them. We also offer our respect to Lord Shiva. Here in Mayapur, he's there at Janmastan. Shiva's temple is there. At Swananda Sukada Kunj, the birthplace of Chaitanya, not the birthplace, the bhajan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his home in Mayapur. Lord Shiva is there. At our own Rajapur Jagannath Mandir, Shiva Linga is there. They made a beautiful little temple for Lord Shiva. So it's not that we don't disrespect. We want the blessing of the devatas. We want their blessing. But what is a blessing? To remove any obstacles in our devotional life. Their blessing is not a new car, a position, a baby, a husband, a wife, a bank balance, position in the world, house, furniture, jewelry, clothes, watches. These are not the objectives of worshiping the devata. This is the materialistic mentality. Kama istaista hrita jnana prabhadanting the devata. Tam tam niyamamastaya prakrita niyatasvaya. People who is kama istaista, whose heart is overwhelmed with lust, they worship the devatas. And that's what they're there for. For persons who don't have sukriti for bhakti can worship the devatas. But for devotee to go and worship the devatas, devis and devata, this is offensive for one particular reason. I think most of you have children. So there's a nice example. If your child, your son or daughter, goes knocking on your neighbor's door and says to them, can you please give me some food? Can you give me some clothes? I'm hungry. I don't have proper clothing. Can you help me? My parents aren't doing anything for me. Please help. How will you feel? You give them everything. You give them food, clothing, shelter, medicine, education. Give them everything, your love. How will you feel if they go to your neighbor begging some food or clothing? You'll be very hurt. So Krishna is also very hurt. He is supplying everything. My Baba Hitan Hitan. He is the ultimate benefactor. He's giving us everything. Eko Bahunam Jova Dadati Kaman. He's that one Supreme Personality of Godhead, eternal being. He is supplying the necessities of every subordinate living being, us. So Krishna can give you more than the demigods. Why should we go to them? That doesn't mean we don't respect them. One great Vaishnava, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, made a beautiful prayer to Lord Shiva. He said, Shriman Gopishwaram Bande Shankaram Karunamayam Sarva Kleshaharam Devam Vrindaranya Rati Pradam. He says, I offer my respectful obeisances. He's bowing down. He's worshipping. He's offering his obeisance. Why? Because Lord Shiva is Mahadev, Maheshwar. Aha. They pray to Lord Shiva. No problem. To pray to Lord Shiva, to bow down to him. But why is he doing that? Sarva Klesha Haram Devam, he takes away our miseries, well and good. He's full of mercy, Karunamayam, well and good. But his real blessing, Vrindaranya Rati, to give us rati, to give us affection, love for worshiping Radha Krishna in the groves of Vrindavan, Vrindaranya. That's his ultimate blessing. We shouldn't misunderstand. So for this reason, we say Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu, that we worship Lord Shiva with this objective. Please bless me with Krishna Bhakti. Let me worship the Lord with devotion as you worship the Lord, and not be diverted by any other this kamaistaistar business of material benefit, begging demigods for some temporary antavat tu phalam, antavat, temporary limited fruit. This is unintelligent, stupid, when Krishna can give us everything. So unless we develop this feeling for Krishna by hearing, we'll be diverted by many things, by the opulences of this world, by the opulences of the heavenly planets, by the opulences of Pitri-loka. But these are not the goal of life. The goal of life is simply prema bhakti. And this is achievable. Bhagavatam says, Aho bata sapachoto gariyan yashavargi vartate namatubhyam te pustapaste juhur sashna arya brahmanuchur nama gananti yete. But how wonderful it is, how extraordinary it is, that if the holy name is on the tip of one's tongue, that this person has done all austerity, he's done tapas, he's done dan, he's done tirtha yatra, he's done svadhyaya, studying shastra, he's done yoga, he's done everything, even if he's born in the family of dog eaters. So what is the purport? That means that devotees who are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra are great souls. They've worshipped Vasudeva for many lifetimes. That because the holy name Jivagri is on the tip of their tongue. So what's left if someone has done, if a devotee has done all of those things in a previous lifetime, what is left for him to achieve? What is left? Krishna Prema. And we shouldn't be diverted by this. Sometimes devotees get diverted by yagya, thinking if I do yagya, I'll get blessing of the Lord. What is our yagya? Yajanti Husumedasa. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamu Dukkha Shamanastam Namami Harim Param. After 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagvatam, what is the conclusion? Nama Sankirtanam Yasya. Harinam is everything. Yajanti Hisamedasa. We worship the Lord by the chanting of the holy name. So they get diverted doing yagya, they get diverted doing yoga, diverted chanting different mantras to the demigods, wearing special gems, doing special mantra. There's one mantra that will deliver us from this world. Kaler doshanidhe raja neko hyasti mahadgunan kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha paramrajet. We get the highest benefit, mukta sangha paramrajet. We're liberated from this material world and go back to Godhead by this simple process, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Someone may say, is that all there is? That's all you have to do? That's all you have to do, is to chant the holy name with love and attention. Not officially, not blabbering through your japa, but fixing our mind, hearing Krishna, then sound Krishna, the sound Rama, the sound Hare, hearing distinctly. Srila Prabhupada mentions in one purport that just making some hissing sound is not chanting the holy name. We have to vibrate the holy name, hear the holy name, and ultimately bring our mind to Krishna. His beauty, his form, his compassion, his greatness, his power, his mercy. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said something very beautiful about the holy name. He said, at the end of my life, when the last breath comes, the holy name will take me by the hand and deliver me to Goloka. What is the purport? This means that the holy name has hands. The holy name has beautiful reddish lotus feet. The holy name has beautiful pitambara dhoti, Vajayanti garland. The holy name plays a flute. The holy name has beautiful reddish lotus petal eyes. The holy name has a moon-like beautiful face surrounded by locks of curling hair. The holy name wears a peacock feather. This is the meditation on the holy name. If we chant this holy name, if we fix our mind on this holy name, chanting our japa, we'll advance in Krishna consciousness very quickly. Otherwise, you can spend lifetimes muttering, babbling through your holy name, through your japa, just trying to get it done. Well, they told me I had to do this, so okay, I'm not happy doing it, but I'll do it because they told me to. Or sometimes devotees don't even manage to chant 16 rounds. This is the foundation of our spiritual life, having a relationship with God in the form of His holy name. Srila Prabhupada said one time, he actually wrote to a devotee, he said that simply chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in front of a picture of Panchatattva, just picture of Panchatattva, is sufficient. All spiritual perfection will come to that person who simply does this. Chants the holy name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, in front of a picture of Panchatattva. All perfection will come. What more we want? So someone may ask, why we spend lakhs and crores of rupees building big, big temples all over the world? This Rohini temple is 100 crore temple, millions of dollars. Is it just for bricks and stones and mortar and glass and copper and steel, so people can come and look like a museum? No. It's meant to inspire people. The perfection is, if someone gets inspired to the extent, they pick up a mala and begin to chant the holy name. It's preaching the holy name. Temple building means preaching the glories of the holy name. A place where people can come and get education, get inspiration, get association. And all of that is meant to bring to a person, inspire a person to the extent that they pick up a mala, begin to chant the holy name, ultimately get initiated, take up the process of bhakti, and go back to Godhead. Same with our book distribution. Why we spend so much energy, lifetimes of energy, and lakhs and crores of rupees, dollars, pounds, yen, distributing books for the same purpose, that someone becomes sufficiently knowledgeable, sufficiently sane, sufficiently purified to take up the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the foundation of our whole spiritual life. If I want to build a building, what is the first thing you do? You still start building something. You make a very strong, powerful foundation. If the foundation is strong, the building is strong. If the foundation is weak, the building will fall over one day and crumble and crack. So same thing with our spiritual life. We may go very high in terms of reputation, in terms of institutional position, in terms of expertise in singing or speaking or memorizing or managing. We may go very high. But if there's no foundation in the chanting of the holy name, having relationship with the holy name, it's all useless. Krishna doesn't need good singers. All the residents of Golok are singing eternally the most beautiful raga, according to time, according to Leela. They're singing beautiful raga for Krishna's, accompanied by musical instruments. Eternally, does he need our little clang, 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 bong, bong, bong? He doesn't need that. He wants our bhakti. He doesn't need speakers. They're glorifying Krishna. Everyone's glorifying Krishna eternally. Lalita, Vishaka, and all the gopis are glorifying Krishna. Lalita is worshipping Krishna. The 5 Panchapradipa Arati Tomar, worshipping Krishna with beautiful 5 lamps, Karpur scented lamp. He doesn't need our Patram Pushpa Phalam Tvayam, or Dupam Deepam Naivedyam, Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahmasebhyamanam. He's being worshipped by lakhs and crores of gopis, Lakshmis. What does he need from us? He wants our bhakti. And how do we show our bhakti? By chanting attentively Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is bhakti. This is bhakti. It's how we exhibit our feeling for Krishna. It is our relationship for Krishna. It is our lifeline. One great devotee wrote some beautiful, beautiful poetry. He said that chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is my food as I progress on the path towards the kingdom of God. Another devotee said that when a devotee takes to chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Lord Brahma is ready to worship him with argya. The glory of material illusion faints, unconscious. And one other thing, I've forgotten now. My memories become shot. This will happen to you too as you get old. Anyway, the essence of this verse, we should take it. We have a choice. You want to go to heaven, go to heaven, but you'll come back. You want to go to Pitri Loka, you can go, but you'll come back. You can be a Bhuta Pishacha, Bhuta Kushmanda Pishacha. You can go there. You can be a demon. You can be a Yamaduta if you want. But Yanti Yamajaji no Pimam, if Krishna says, you worship me, you'll come to me. What is so simple? What is more sublime and simple than that? We worship Krishna how? Yajanti hi sumedasa. Yajanti, and God, this process is so important. Krishna Vanam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangashta Parshadam Jagai Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti hi sumedasa. It's so important. Nam Sankirtan, chanting the holy name, that God himself comes to this world to teach it and to propagate it and to participate in it himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance, jump, leaping high in the sky, come crashing to the ground. The whole earth planet would tremble when Mahaprabhu would come crashing to the ground. The whole surrounding devotees become wet from the tears from his eyes. He participated in experiencing Mahabhav, and he came to distribute that Mahabhav also. Anarpita chirim chirat karunaya batirna kalo samarpayitum unato jalarasam swabhakti shriyam unato jalarasam swabhakti shriyam. His own ecstatic experience of love of God, he came to distribute how? Golokera prema dana harinama sankirtana. The love, the prema of Goloka is manifest here in this world. How? Harinam sankirtan. Holy name of Krishna. What is our problem? Ratina janmi loke netai. We have no love. But if we continue chanting, if we continue trying, if we continue making the right choice that I only want Krishna in this lifetime, nothing, everything else subordinate. It's a subset of my life. The main focus of my life is Krishna Bhakti, going home back to Godhead. If we have that focus, it's available to us in this lifetime, but we have to choose. And Prabhupada's emphasizing that in this purport, that we have that power given to us by the Super Soul. We engage in devotional service, the Dhammi Buddhi Yogam Tam. He will give us the intelligence to make the right choice and choose that I only want Krishna and nothing else will do. Anyone has any comment or question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam, all grace to Prabhupada. Such a nice reflecting upon the futility of all other processes of Gyan, Karmakanda,
Yoga.
and yoga, and the supremacy of the bhakti, and that too by Mahaprabhu's mercy in Kali Yuga, it is in the form of holy name. And your reference, I mean, you are saying that it has hands, and with hand it has a reddish lotus feet, and flute in his hand, and pitambara dhoti, and then so it has its form, the Nam form, all are merged into the same actually. So it's that meditation is very, very appealing. Thank you, Prabhu.
Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Kali Kali Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. That in Kali Yuga, Lord incarnates in the form of his holy name.
Yes, Prabhuji, very nice. Yes, recently I also came one verse I wanted to share. It's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Maybe it is taken from Srimad Bhagvatam or some other Puran. It says, Jnanata Sulava Mukti, Bhukti Yagyadi Punnata, Shyam sadhana sahas Shai Harir Bhakti Sudurlabha. So by Gyan is Mukti Sulabh, very easy. And by Yagya Punna, the Karmakandi activity, Yagya Bhukti is very easy. But the Harir Bhakti is
Sudurlabha.
very Sudurlabha. Yeah. So very nice. And Krishna, I mean, Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika buddhi is very good. Of course, you take refer to many other verses. So, and especially the Harinam has a hand and lotus hands and lotus feet, and supple and very soft feet, and when the flute and the pitambar dhoti with the peacock feather on his head. So it's very nice to meditate upon when you are chanting. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your kind association, your purifying association. Please continue to bless us with your association. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Anything else?
Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for such a beautiful, discussion and lecture today. It was really very inspiring. I asked this question because we have so much emphasis on japa and taking the name of the Lord. Is that I know bhav is very important, but and a number of times is also equally important, right? Is that my question? I mean, when you go on the number, then you miss out on the bhav. So how do you manage that, Maharaj?
Both are important, but quality is more important. I'll tell you a story. One of my godbrothers was visiting some devotees in Hawaii, on the island of Hawaii, the big island of Hawaii. And this person was bragging, I chant 64 rounds every day. I know you're only chanting 16, but I chant 64 rounds. Very proud. The next morning, this person went down to the beach. Said, I'm going down to the beach to chant my japa. He came back an hour and a half later, said, yep, got them all done. Is it possible to chant 64 rounds in an hour? You can't chant 16 rounds in an hour and a half.
Right.
But this person, so what kind of quality is there? Quality is very important. I would say more important than quantity. We initiated devotees make a vow to chant 16 rounds, but quality is very, very important. Otherwise, what is the meaning to 16 rounds if you just blabber them up? What is the meaning to that? As you say, there's no bhava will come when we focus on Krishna, the sound Krishna, the person Krishna, his gun, roop, nam, parikar. When we focus on Krishna in that way, bhava won't come otherwise. You can spend millions of lifetimes chanting Nama Parad.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Thank you. Nice question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the question from Prabhuji was also in terms of somebody already has bhav. So maybe he has the Ashtasattik Vikar also while chanting. So is he required to pronounce, or he can do Pamsu or Manasik?
He can do Upamsu or Manasik. He can chant in his mind, or he can chant Upamsu. But we read about 6 Goswamis, Krishnot Kirtan Agananatana, Krishnot Kirtan. They sang loud Kirtan. They chanted loudly holy name for their own benefit and for the benefit of surrounding living entities. Once Srila Prabhupada told Vishnu John Maharaj, you can go to the forest and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra Kirtan for the benefit of the trees and the birds and the insects that are inhabiting the forest. So other thing is that Ashtasatvika Bhav is extremely rare. Extremely rare. We can only, I mean, this is another discussion, but we can suffice to say it's extremely rare because this means prema. Ashtasatvika Bhav comes at the stage of prema, not at bhava. Ashtasatvika Bhav comes in. So People talk like this sometimes, but if we examine their life, they're not even following strictly the rules and regulations, but they have a big talk. Brahmabhuta prasanatma nasochati nakankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. That bhakti begins from Brahmabhuta. Detachment, nasochati nakankshati, no hankering, no lamentation. Prasanatma, your happy soul, always never disturbed, never depressed, never angry, never lusty, greedy, envious. You're always happy soul. He said, samasarveshu bhuteshu, you see everyone in this world equally. No friends, no enemies. You love everybody. Everyone's your friend. This is a high platform. Mad bhakti labate param. Bhakti begins from that. Some people talk very high philosophy. Ashtasattva bhav, gopi bhav, manjari bhav. But you examine their life and you'll see they're not even on Brahmabhuta platform. This means cheating. So we should scrupulously avoid this cheating mentality of trying to put the cart before the horse. This is our objective. This is our prayojana. We want prema. Why else are we practicing? Why else are we sacrificing? Why else we're chanting? We want prema. It's our objective of life, but not prematurely. There's a price to pay, and that means at least coming through, passing anartha nivritti and nishta, and the preliminary stage of getting some taste, ruchi, asakti, bhava, and only at bhava do we get a glimpse of our real eternal spiritual identity. So prior to that, people are confused. They're thinking, am I a manjari? Maybe I'm a gopa. Maybe I'm a sakhi. Maybe I'm part of Mother Yashoda's entourage. It's all mental speculation until you come to Baba. One should just hear about Krishna. One should chant Krishna's name. Prabhupada didn't discuss these things publicly. Neither should we. Anyway, that's my take on it. Take it or leave it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Very, very important.
Anything else? Kantaraj.
Krishna Prabhuji. My
Yes,
pranam to you,
Mataji.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. So, thank you so much for the wonderful class. You talked about Gadadhar Prabhuji, and then, you were mentioning something about Gopal Krishna Maharaj also. I was not able to concentrate that time, but what I think is Maharaj was also facing old age, right? And some issues, health issues.
Yes, many. Your Guru Maharaj, you're a disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, right?
Yes. Even he.
So he's clinging to life, Mataji. How long can he stay? How
Yeah.
long can any of us stay? So that the essence of what I was saying is this: that our relationship with Guru is based on Vani Seva, serving his instructions, following his instructions, hearing his instructions, and being the best devotee and disciple we can be. Vapu Seva has little to do with our advancement in spiritual life. It's a blessing, certainly, if you get some personal association. But your Guru Maharaj has more than 70,000 disciples. How much personal association can you expect to get in your lifetime? Practically zero. What is your relationship? What is the substance, the essence of your relationship? The real substance is your Vani's hearing from him, serving him, following his instructions. That is eternal. Vani Seva is eternal. Vapu Seva is temporary. Meditate on this, because that day is also coming when His Holiness can't stay here any longer. He'll be called by Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu and sent to some other preaching assignment. Know it for
Yes,
sure.
Maharaj. Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
meditate on this service to Guru, not just.
Yes.
Prabhupada gave an example. He said, like a mosquito or a biting insect may sit on the Vyasa-san with the Guru. But what's he doing? He's associated directly with the Guru. What is he doing? He's just biting the Guru, sucking blood. Prabhupada said that someone who serves the mission of his Guru is serving, not a festival of fruits and flowers. You offer some fruits and flowers. Okay, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Jai Jai, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Who is serving the mission of Gurudev? Who is following the instructions of Gurudev? Who is hearing instructions of Gurudev? He is a servant. And his relationship is fixed up eternally. Because we do that as we're doing here, we will do in Goloka. We're engaged in Radha Krishna Seva by this, under the instruction and blessing of our Guru. Same here, same there. This is real substance. Vapu Seva is nothing. Not nothing, that's not the right word. It's subordinate. So
Yes,
think that over carefully.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying this. And we feel sad that we're losing all these spiritual masters who were so dear to Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's more that are their health situation is very tenuous. Expect that the trajectory of my godbrothers leaving this world is increasing year by year and moment by moment. And it will increase more and more. We're all old men. I have godbrothers who are 85 years old. Approaching,
So sometimes
our god sister just left, 91 years old, 92 years old, Shailavati Mataji.
So sometimes one thought comes that, we hear this movement will last for 10,000 years, but at the same time, when all these dear, special, so elevated, and you yourself, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, direct disciples of Srila Prabhupada are one by one leaving, how will this continue with 10,000 years like this?
Because of
you all
devotees,
have sacrificed, we are not able to do that.
Because of devotees like you, Mataji. Because all of you will take the reins and do your bit. You don't have to be a big, powerful sannyasi. You can be a mother, a grandmother, an auntie, and do powerful preaching in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Don't sell yourself short. You all have a very bright future. Mahaprabhu, if you want it, again, our choice, this Bhagvatam verse we read, but what do you want? What is it that touches your heart? What do you want to do with your life? Because the day will come when you're retired, your kids are gone, everyone's settled, then what will you do? Preach Krishna consciousness. It's our family business. And women can be very powerful preachers of Krishna Bhakti by their example, by the many people on this, many devotees on this forum are very powerful preachers. There's no discrimination. Everyone can preach Krishna consciousness. It's our family business. And you should fix your mind in that way. You're not mom forever.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your guidance and, positive energy. So, yeah. Anybody has any question, comments? Otherwise, we can end the call. Today, Shamasika Mataji and Nikunjaras Prabhu are a little busy because they have guests, so they didn't join today. But they told me to, end the call. But any other question, comments for Prabhuji? Otherwise, it's almost 8:30 Eastern USA time.
Yeah. It's prasadam time here.
So,
I don't want to keep Krishna waiting. It's prasadam time here.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anant Koti Vaishnavandi ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Sarvadhik Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your association. Madanat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.